Senator Ricketts.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Ranking Member, for holding this hearing, and thank you to our panelists, our nominees, and your willingness to serve our great nation. The Ranking Member was talking about inflation. I might note that on Labor Day, the average price of gas was $3.15 a gallon, and that's the lowest it's been since 2020. And people in my state tend to drive a lot, and that's a big factor in household income and inflation. And to me, that says that the president's policies of unleashing American energy are important. And that also actually rolls into another thing that's important for my state of Nebraska, which is ethanol. Actually, the last time I filled up with ethanol, it was saved me 45 cents a gallon versus the regular 89 octane. So everybody can fill up on ethanol, save money at the pump, clean up the environment. It's great for our farmers and ranchers. And you may say, why are you talking about that right now? Because I'm going to roll into another topic that is of interest here, which is communist China is the threat to America. They want to supplant us as the world superpower. And they've made it clear that they are going to use every lever of power to be able to undermine our national security. Confronting this threat requires comprehensive strategy that strengthens our safety, our financial system, secures our critical assets, and closes loopholes for communist China to seek and exploit things in our system. And one of the things that includes is combating our foreign adversaries' ownership of American agricultural land, and thus the tie-in back to my state. In 2010, Communist China owned 13,720 acres of American farmland. In 2023, Communist China owned 277,000 acres of that farmland, and that is a threat to our national security. A lot of that, sometimes that farmland was located by our sensitive military installations. Mr. Pilkerton, do you agree that that's a threat to our national security?
Senator, thank you very much for the question. I share your concern. In fact, the Chinese penetration in agricultural land, real estate, critical technologies is something that we all should be very concerned about from a national security perspective. If I am confirmed to lead the CFIUS committee, then I would look forward to working with you as well as the members around the table, including the observing member of U.S. Department of Agriculture, Secretary Brooke Rollins, who I've worked with very closely before. So I look forward to the opportunity to work with you, your staff, and this whole committee on these issues.
Well, good. I'll look forward to that. Under the Agricultural Foreign Investment Disclosure Act, AFIDA, foreign entities are required to disclose the transactions of American agricultural land to the USDA. That's your comment about working with Secretary Rollins. USDA then shares the data with CFIUS agencies so they can identify and review the transactions that pose national security risks. However, the Government Accountability Office, GAO, published a report on the AFIDA process which flagged incomplete data reporting, process errors, and delays. That's why I introduced the AFIDA Improvement Act. My bill will strengthen reporting requirements and improve data sharing coordination between USDA and CFIUS so that national security risks tied to foreign land purchases are flagged immediately. I look forward to working with you on this issue and more when you are confirmed. In your view, what other enforcement gaps or vulnerabilities in the CFIUS process that pose these threats, or what poses the greatest risk or threat from our foreign adversaries? Are there other things in the CFIUS process we can improve upon?
Thank you for the question, Senator. If I had the opportunity to be confirmed, obviously CFIUS's focus is national security, and my priorities are going to be just that, including focusing on the critical technologies, artificial intelligence, quantum computing, other areas where America is and will continue and must continue to be a leader. Another priority that I have is the non-notification of covered transactions. These are transactions that should be reported that are not reported. And one of the things that I want to do, if confirmed, is sit down with the entire team, including the advising groups, the intelligence community, law enforcement community that plays a role there, and find out how we can use the different tools and authorities that CFIUS has to advance that. Finally, I'd like to focus on compliance and enforcement. Obviously, there's a front-end review of the transactions that come through CFIUS, but many times there are mitigation agreements and ongoing compliance, and we have to stay vigilant and ensure that folks are abiding by the agreements that they enter into. I'd also like to say that I think it's incredibly important because I know that CFIUS and national security is a bipartisan matter. So having that feedback loop with the executive branch, this committee, and your colleagues is going to be very critical.
Yeah, great. I look forward to working with you on this. And one other thing I'll just mention is looking at process improvement to streamline your processes to be able to do this more efficiently, and we can talk about that more of that later. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Senator Smith.